Are you ready for some electrifying news, Leafs Nation? The Toronto Maple Leafs might just be in the mix for a seasoned forward who could bring some much-needed depth to our roster. With whispers of a potential addition swirling around, this player could fit right in and make an immediate impact. Fans, imagine the excitement as we gear up for the next chapter in our quest for the Cup. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up to stay in the loop with all things Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are once again in the headlines, and as a passionate fan, I can't help but feel the excitement and trepidation surrounding the latest reports. The team has been linked to a veteran forward who could potentially fill a void without costing us any players in a trade. That's right, no player departures, just a chance to bolster our lineup. We've heard a lot of names floating around in recent weeks. Yanni Gourde from the Seattle Kraken and Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders have been popular choices. But let's be honest, acquiring a big name like those might be easier said than done. The Leafs have some depth, sure, but do we really have the assets to entice another team into a trade? That's a question that's been looming over our heads. Now, let's talk about a new name that's emerged. Sean Kuraly from the Columbus Blue Jackets. At 32 years old, he could bring some much-needed depth to our center position. But is he the game changer we're hoping for? It seems like a safer bet, but as a fan, I can't help but crave that electric spark. A player who can truly elevate our game. And now we've got Brandon Saad in the mix. Yes, you heard that right. The two-time Stanley Cup champion had his contract mutually rescinded by the St. Louis Blues, and now he's on the market as a free agent. According to David Pagnotta from The Fourth Period, he could be a perfect fit for the Leafs. Saad has a history of success, winning the Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks in 2013 and 2015, and he's been around long enough to know what it takes to compete at the highest level. But let's break this down. Saad's stats for the current season, 7 goals and 16 points in 43 games, aren't exactly earth-shattering. And while he could potentially fill a third-line role for us at a reasonable contract of about $1 million, does he have that extra gear we need for a deep playoff run? Honestly, I'm torn on this one. On one hand, he could bring experience and depth. On the other, I can't shake the feeling that we need more than just a steady presence. This is a critical juncture for the Leafs. Decisions like these can shape the future of the franchise and, ultimately, our dreams as fans. We've been so close yet so far from the ultimate prize, and every move counts. Are we playing it safe, or are we bold enough to swing for the fences? It's a fine line, and as supporters, we want to see our team take risks that could pay off in a big way. So, what do you think? Is bringing in Saad the right path forward, or should we hold out for a bigger name? I want to hear your opinions down below, because this is a conversation we need to have. The stakes are high, and the pressure is on. And let's not forget about our core players. They need help to carry the load, and while adding someone like Saad could be beneficial, we've also got to consider how these decisions impact guys like Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner. They're our franchise players, and they deserve support that pushes us over the top. Last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs faced off against the Minnesota Wild, and let me tell you, it was a tough game to watch. The final score was 3-1, and honestly, it felt like the Leafs just couldn't find their rhythm offensively. I mean, they only managed to find the back of the net once. Despite some promising chances, including William Nylander hitting the post, they couldn't finish. Even Auston Matthews, who is usually a scoring machine, was held off the score sheet. He rattled the crossbar in the first period, but that was about as close as Toronto came to scoring until Nylander finally found the net in the third period, cutting the deficit to 2-1 with his 29th goal of the season. But let's be real, the offensive struggles have been a recurring theme during this 3-game losing streak. They generated chances, but failed to capitalize. With 31 shots on goal, it's hard to believe they couldn't get more than one by Filip Gustavsson, the Wild's goalie. The pressure just wasn't there in the offensive zone, and these missed opportunities are starting to feel like a broken record. The chemistry among the top line seems off, and it's becoming increasingly evident how much John Tavares' absence is impacting the team. The depth of the Leafs' offense has disappeared, and they're struggling to find their rhythm. Speaking of the top line, Matthews and Nylander were the shining stars in an otherwise dim performance. They created scoring chances, but their line mates didn't step up. Max Domi seemed hesitant and ineffective, and that's a huge concern. He was fantastic alongside elite players last season, but now he looks like a shadow of his former self. It's frustrating as a fan to watch our stars generate chances only to have them squandered by their teammates. Mitch Marner and Bobby McMahon didn't capitalize either, and the lack of support for Matthews and Nylander is alarming. You have to wonder if the recent chemistry issues are just a phase or something more serious. On the blue line, Morgan Rielly is another player under scrutiny. He hasn't scored in 10 games and has only 22 points in 51 games this season. That's not the production we expect from him. Yet, Rielly insists that he feels fine and that his struggles are not due to an injury. I give him credit for owning it, but the pressure is clearly weighing on him. Coach Craig Berube believes Rielly can perform at a higher level, and honestly, he's right. Rielly needs to step up, especially with this 4-game road trip ahead. Can he find a way to turn things around before the upcoming Four Nations face-off? And now, the Leafs are set to face the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday, which is no easy task. The Oilers are known for their firepower, and with how the Leafs are playing lately, I can't help but feel concerned. This could very well lead to a 4th consecutive loss. It's a tough spot for the team, and as a passionate fan, my heart aches watching them struggle like this. So, what do you all think about the current state of the Maple Leafs? Are they making the right moves, or are we just treading water? Honestly, I'm torn. I want to believe they can shake off this slump and find their way back to winning, but the inconsistencies are hard to ignore. I want to hear from you, the fans. What are your expectations moving forward? Let's get the conversation going in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel too. Stay updated on all things Maple Leafs, and make sure to activate that notification bell to get all the latest updates. Let's rally together and hope for a turnaround. Go Leafs, go!